Welcome in. I am the crypto bull god, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, subscribe to the channel. You gotta click the bell icon for notifications. This is me on Twitter. You can also find me on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram. Even Instagram. You can find me on TradingView. One word. It's right here, Crypto Bull God. No underscores, no BS like that. It's just one word, Crypto Bull God. This market has officially led me into drinking. Cheers, everybody. Ah, damn. Not quite. Used to this volatility. This is the level of volatility that we're going to get into in a moment is not catching me off guard one bit. Been here for way too long. We'll talk about why the price action today. I don't know what news is out there. I've been way too busy at work. I have not. You can tell the level of engagement that I have on Twitter based on just how busy my work day is, right? When I'm a little bit more active on Twitter and I can put out some charts, it's not too crazy. When you don't hear anything from me, there's too much other stuff going on. So I have no idea if there was a news event that happened today. I have no idea. But again, I think the noise is news. The news is, did I say the noise is news? The news is noise, okay? And it is all in the charts, and we'll talk about why a harsh rejection today should not catch us by surprise. It hasn't fundamentally changed everything. Also, one of the things I had tweeted out earlier, I'm not going to be able to find it, but I basically said for today's live stream, is it time to begin to feel excited? I'm going to respond to that and tell you why or why not you should start to feel some excitement based on the price action we were originally seeing today, but nothing that has resulted in the past couple hours about price dropping and coming back up, none of it has changed my response, okay? And I'll indicate to you why that is. Hope everybody's having a good day. Today flew for me. Got up a little bit earlier than normal. I don't know what time you guys wake up. I get up at typically right around 5 a.m. This morning I got up at 4:15 so that I could get into the gym and not feel rushed and get a really good workout in before a meeting that took place earlier today. You know, speaking of which, now I can't speak to the specifics, obviously, of what the meeting was about earlier this morning, but I want to throw this out there to anybody who owns a business or anyone who is in the business world, just food for thought, especially if you're in a more visible role in a leadership sort of opportunity. When an organization makes fundamental decisions that reshape how a business will operate, before you implement a policy, in my opinion, again, it depends on some of the specifics about what it's surrounding, but I think in most cases, you need to tap into the pulse of your employees. Engage with your employees to gain their sentiment, their perspective, to know pros and cons, things that are important, things that aren't important. Doing so and tapping into your employee base will help you to make a more informed decision regarding policy. Something was communicated to me. I'm on sort of like a leadership team, and so what was being shared with me was something that will be shared to the broader audience next week. And not quite sure the purpose of why, because the policy is the policy that they made. There apparently aren't going to be any changes to it. I think there's a potential negative backlash that could occur from the policy that's going to come out. And I had a lot of questions about the policy that was being put out, and it's kind of, I'm a little bit more sensitive to what it is surrounding, given some of the details of my work history. And I asked a very broad question. I sent an email at the end of the day to my boss and said, I'm just curious, thanks for the meeting earlier today. One question: what level of employee engagement was sought out to help in making an informed decision regarding this policy? I will be very curious to see his response, because my sense is that there's a missed opportunity there. There's really a missed opportunity. Missed opportunity. So I hope everyone's having a good day. Had a great workout this morning. Real quick, before we get into the charts, for everybody out there who is an avid lifter, who likes to lift weights, I have a rep set scheme that you can try, particularly on back squats. I don't know, I read about this a while ago. I did it this morning, and it went great. I had a great workout this morning. 10 sets of 3 repetitions, but the key is, so it's 30 reps total. The key, though, is in between your sets, you want to be lifting off between 30 to 50 seconds. 30 to 50 seconds, okay? And you can adjust the weight accordingly. So you shouldn't be able to go you should be going super heavy, but the idea is you're doing 10 sets, 3 repetitions, boom, 30 to 50 second breaks. That's a lot of fun at 6 o'clock in the morning, let me tell you. All right, let's get into the charts here. As I said, didn't have a lot of preparation time before the live stream to really formulate a lot of conclusions on charts. Been doing this for a long time. I stay on top of things, though, so we'll be able to kind of formulate what's going on together. Actually, let me get to the comments real quick. I see some comments here. I haven't gotten to anyone. Kevin, what's up, my friend? We will get into it. Kiss to 50, we can take a look at that. Blah, 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 blah. This was a jump. Rumors on the government's. Oh, yeah, see, BCK, that's all government selling. It's news is noise, right? The lower high we put in today. Brian, I'll address that. Yes, I agree with you, BCK. I'm not concerned one bit. Okay, so let's get into the price action that we saw today. Volume precedes price, right? And again, ignore for now these blue. I'll take this out probably at some point. Again, the general idea, if you haven't been here before, this is just to express not specific price action I'm expecting, but the general idea that I am anticipating some level of consolidation to occur in here before we start moving up. That is my general premise, okay? And then, the longer out we go here, you can see the further out in time we go here, you can see at some point we start to really go parabolic. Again, if we're creating new all-time highs this year, that's inevitably what has to happen, all right? But let's talk about what price action we saw today. Volume precedes price, okay? Look at this huge red bar down here. You see that? A lot of volume coming in here. Now, what do the wicks express? Buyer and seller exhaustion. When we're coming all the way up to here and we wick all the way up here and we can't get above the wick. The candle isn't getting, the wick is expressing, we're getting all the way up there, but there's buyer exhaustion, people are selling. What happens with the wick all the way on the bottom? There's a lot of buyers down here. There's seller exhaustion. A lot of people are buying up here, right? This candle, if it were to print right now and it were to look this way, this is a 12-hour chart on Bitcoin. We've talked about the significance. If it printed exactly where it's at right now, we're at 28,250, all right? This is what I would call an indecision candle, okay? We have a red body. It's thick but not too thick, and we have equidistant wicks. We have a huge wick up expressing buyer exhaustion. We have a huge wick down speaking to seller exhaustion. And so the price doesn't know what it wants to do. It sort of went all the way up here and then all the way up here, and then it gravitated right here. And it's like, I don't know if I want to go up here. I don't know if I want to go down here. I'm sort of being propelled in both directions, right? And I'm leveling right here. So typically in these cases, and it lends itself to a more credible result the more higher time frame we get into, which we're going to get into in a moment. But typically what likes to happen most likely in these situations is you get additional chop in this area before it decides if it wants to go down or go up, right? So that's really what we're looking at right now. I am going to be very curious to see how we close today out and how the 12-hour looks. Now, if we go to the daily, and who was it that said this? Was it BCK? Yeah, BCK said, we wicked all the way down here to the 50 simple moving average, which is true. We touched it and we've sort of just bounced right off of it, and now we're above this area. I have an area of support drawn at about 28,200, okay? Again, every single time frame that you look at, all right? It tells a story. Every candlestick tells a story, and the more we move, I shouldn't say that, the larger the time frame, okay? The higher the time frame, the more significant conclusions that we can reach based on looking at a candlestick. Now, how would we ideally want the day to close here? What I would say is the thicker, okay, let's take this off just so we can get a closer look here. Let's actually delete this just for a moment. The thicker this red body is, the more negative connotation that it is associated with this daily close. We don't want a huge wick up and a small wick down here and a red body, okay? Because that lends itself to a higher probability that we're going to see some downside. What we'd really like to see is we'd like this body to either be, I mean, we only have 2 hours and 40 minutes, okay, 45 minutes. Ideally, we would want the body to be green, but at the very least, if it's going to be red, we want it to be really, really thin. Because if we start to paint a thicker red body and there's a huge wick up here and there's a moderate wick down here, again, the story that's telling us on the daily time frame is it's most likely because there was significant buyer exhaustion up here, price is really going to want to start to come down to these levels and just stay down here. Now, again, is that saying anything significant in terms of the overall trend direction of price? No, it doesn't change anything from having a macro bullish perspective, right? The only thing that's going to change that perspective is if we start to come all the way down here, take out this higher low, and then come all the way down here and start to entertain areas down at 15,000. Again, keep that perspective. What I'm speaking to on the daily time frame is what this candlestick is communicating to us is the most likely direction for intermediate price action, short to intermediate term price action. So really what I'm going to be focused on is this 12-hour candlestick. By the way, these are really good. I don't know if you guys have had these before. Ranch Rider. It's ranch water. It's really clean too, not sugary, 120 calories. It's only, I don't know what percentage alcohol it is. I think it's only like 5% or 5.5%. But it's real straight ingredients. It's just like tequila, some tonic, and lime juice. But it's very good if you don't like sweet drinks. Anywho, yes, Miss Alab, I can take a look at alchemy. Typically, I like to take the TA questions towards the end of the live stream because I lose track of them, but I'll try and remember. So that's what I'm looking at on the 12-hour, but let's have a conversation about my tweet earlier today. If you're following me at Crypto Bull God, might have been my only tweet from today because I was just too fucking busy today. Too much going on at work. Not bad, just busy. It's good to be busy, though. That means you're earning your paycheck and they have something to do for you. So that is a good thing. As much as I loved my last job and I loved who I worked with, great company where I worked, my job was just too easy. Needed to find something a little bit different and more challenging. Let's see here. Don't I have a monthly? Actually, you know what? Let's take a look at this first. Is this it? Yeah, I think this is it. Now, guys, I want you to keep in mind what I've reiterated to you. Today's Wednesday, the past 2 days, and what I shared with you last week. This red candlestick, because we closed below 28.8, right? This whole zone between like 32,000 and 28.8, this is going to cause us problems. And we have further validated that thought process by having this red, thick weekly candle here. What this is telling us is we had a strong rejection from this zone. And I told you that if we close below 28.8, the most likely, it's not guaranteed, there's no certainties, but the most likely thing is we're going to chop around for a little bit before we break out, right? So we just have to be patient. It could be a good 4 to 6 weeks. It could be 7 weeks before we actually start to get above this area and we start to get up here. We just have to remain patient. Nothing is breaking down on the higher time frames that's leaving me feeling nervous or concerned. Again, the volatility that we saw today, I was looking at it thinking, oh, wow, well, that's par for the course. There's nothing that is surprising, right? And there's nothing on the higher time frame that's changed. So it's not surprising when we look at this current weekly candlestick. Check this out. There's a huge wick coming in here. What is the story? Again, buyers are eating up prices in this area, but ultimately running out of steam. It just can't hold a price level up here. What you really want to see is you want to see a weekly candlestick get up into this 28.8 to $32,000 area and stay in there convincingly. And obviously, you want to eventually pierce 32,000 with conviction. But what's the bigger thing I'm looking at? We're talking the daily. We're talking 12-hour, we're talking a weekly. That is not the meat and potatoes of what we need to get to. Really what you should be focused on, okay? Especially, I'm hoping the majority, I have a very smart audience, I know that. So if you are as intelligent as I believe all of you are, the smartest thing you can do is you can focus on the higher time frames, okay? I've said this time and time again. This is the monthly, okay? Let's remove this for the moment. This April monthly candlestick is very important how it prints. Let me explain why. And this should not be green. This should be red. This candlestick, once again, is going to, when it prints, and again, because it's on a higher time frame, it's on a monthly time frame, it holds so much more significance. The way this candlestick prints will indicate to us the most likely direction for price in the coming next couple months, right? Doesn't dictate the trend for the entire year. That's not what I'm saying. But it dictates the most likely of scenarios for at least the next couple months, okay? Again, it doesn't have to play out that way. Case in point is down here. I said to you, once we broke 19,000, was it 800 or 700 or whatever the hell it was, 650? We kept bouncing off of it, and once we had this thick red candle monthly close, I said more than likely for several months we're going to hang out down here. We didn't. 2 months later, we burst through with conviction, right? So again, I'm not telling you what's certainly going to happen. Again, but probabilities are probabilities for a reason. There's data and there's a certain number of occurrences that things happen, all right? It's just the law of numbers. It's what I do all fucking day, all right? And I love it too. I actually love what I do. But let's talk about this monthly candlestick. And let's talk about the scenarios that could play out. This is something, again, the monthly candlestick for April is going to close. Oh, this is beautiful. So we're going to do an All in the Charts live stream on Monday, May 1st. Okay? And maybe we can make that a little bit of a longer live stream to really talk about what we're seeing in the charts, because the month is going to close out on Sunday. That's beautiful. All right. I was hoping the month wouldn't close over the weekend. May 1st wouldn't be Saturday or Sunday that we could. That's perfect. Okay, good. So anywho, what we want to look for here is this body. This body. Question 1 is, what color is it? And question 2 is, how thick is the body? Okay? If I had to take an educated guess, we're going to have a rather thin body here. There's not many days left in the month. We're going to have a red or a green thin body more than likely. Or we could get like a straight line that's like red-green, stating we essentially closed the month where we opened, right? Some volatility in here, okay, some down wicks, some up wicks, okay? But we're going to have some, more than likely, let's talk about the most likely scenario, we're going to have a thin body. Now, what is that telling us? What is that telling us? That is an indecision candle. Now, the thicker the red body is here, the more bearish the case that we could get some further consolidation down here before we start moving up. If it's green and it's thicker green, the higher the probability that we'll go up sooner, okay? But if we sort of have this thick, kind of like right now, if we have this like thin red body or real thin green body, price is indecisive. There's wicks this way, there's wicks this way. We don't know if we want to go up, we don't know if we want to go down, and we sort of just close the month right around where we opened, okay? Price is indecisive, all right? Like a lot of women in just kidding. Don't want to lose my female audience. I'm just kidding. Just based on personal experience, just based on some poor past experience. Some ladies are very indecisive. Some women are extremely decisive, and they got their shit together. They know what they're doing. All right. I need to find a little bit more of that in my life. Digressing. So anyway, case in point here. Let's take a look at, so this monthly close is going to be very important, and what I'm attempting to share with you is most likely what will occur within the chart. Look, big picture, just looking at this chart and not even thinking for a moment of everything else that I've shared with you guys, if you've been paying attention on this channel, why I am so bullish on this year, okay? If I just looked at this chart and you said, how are you feeling about this setup? I would say, wow, this looks like an awesome setup. Maybe we come back down here to like 25,100 or 200. But why just looking at this do I feel really good about this chart setup? Just looking at these candlesticks, okay? This is a bullish engulfing candle. It engulfed 3 red candlesticks, okay? Massive green, thick red body. Had an indecision candle the following month. And then in the month of March, look at this. March, I did not anticipate this, okay? I certainly did not. March is a massively bullish month, massively. Why do I say that? First off, you got another thick green body, but that's not the only reason. We opened right here. This is where price opened, 23,100. We went all the way down here to this 19,700 level. Seller exhaustion. All the buyers ate up the price. We went up to where we opened and went much higher and closed the month out much higher than where we opened at 28,000. That is a massively bullish candlestick. So between these 2 candlesticks, January and March, this leaves me feeling very confident, no matter how this prints. Maybe we have a month of, some bullshit in here in May. But the point is, these 2 candlesticks alone lead me to conclude it is highly probable there is a massive trend reversal to the upside. The issue is that a trend reversal to the upside, a bullish trend reversal to the upside, does not mean, okay, it doesn't mean we go like this, okay? We have areas of price confluence. We have a battle. There's a war going on. The bulls are fighting the bears, okay? And we've built all these areas of resistance. We need to fucking get up there and just smash those areas of resistance, but it's going to take time and effort. It took us a long time to build all the way up here and build all this price confluence in here. So to get back above all this, we got to fight and fight and fight and fight. It's just going to take time. That's all. Let's see what comments we got here. Yeah. So Kevin, if you shared with me that you're in Texas, I missed that. I apologize, or I forget. I'm bad with certain things, recalling things. A spinning top off the cusp of my head. Top of my head, I don't remember what a spinning top is. I don't know all the names for all the candlesticks. You could be right. I'll have to look up what a spinning top is actually at the end of the live stream. Yeah, there's a lot of names for certain candlesticks that I know, and then there are some names I don't know. I think the important thing is, even if you don't know a name of a candlestick, like if you don't know what a gravestone doji is, you can still look at the candlestick and say, wow, that looks really bearish, and you still know it's a trend reversal candlestick. But not sure if this is a spinning top. But good call out, though. It is something I'm going to brush up on after the live stream. All right, what other indecision, but sometimes indicate trend change. Right. So that's essentially what I said, right? So spinning top, okay, so indecision, but sometimes indicating a trend change. And again, more than likely this monthly candlestick is gonna, let's have fun, just for fun, okay? Not giving you a prediction, just for fun. Let's take a fun guess where April's gonna close. April opened at 28,476. Okay, so I am going to say that April is going to, I think it's going to mirror this candlestick. Open, close, and it's going to be just below it. So I'm going to guess that April is going to close at 28,436. Okay? 28,436. That's my guess. We're going to have a real thin red body, and that's just going to indicate to us there's a little bit of indecision going on. Now, I did have a question come in. Actually, I want to take a look at the stock market with you real quick before I get to that. So let's take a look at the stock market. Again, this is a weekly view, the thing I keep hitting on. Let's allow this week to close out. Thursday, you can see 2 straight days? For some reason, I thought it was 3 straight days. Okay, 2 straight days. We've had some thick red candles come in here. We'll have to see if we can get a bounce tomorrow. There are 2 primary things I'm looking for on this week, okay? Ultimately, I do not want a weekly close going below the 21 EMA. That is something that would be a caution flag, a yellow flag, red flag, yellow flag for me, okay? I do not want to see that. But the second thing is, that's the most important thing. The second thing is, can we maintain a price level on the weekly view slightly at or above this descending area of resistance, which is at about 4,100 on the S&P. Right now, we're at 40.56. I mean, we just got to move up like 40 points, right? So it'll be interesting to see by Friday's close where we close out. We want to close somewhere around 4,100. That would be the most bullish case, okay? Anything outside of that to the upside would be a bonus. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it. Let's take a look at Alchemy Pay. I had a question come in on Alchemy Pay. Check-in time. We have plenty of time for Q&A. So if anybody has, not plenty of time, but we have some decent time. If anyone has questions on some charts, we can take a look at them together. Now, one of the things, again, I actually want to take a look at an injective protocol real quick with you. We're going to come back here because there's some relationship I want to share with you. Again, I indicated to you guys more than likely, okay, I said to you why this bounce wasn't surprising. More than likely, we get rejected in this $8 range. We went all the way up to $9.06, okay? But still, we put in a higher low, which isn't surprising. I would expect, okay, there's really 2 scenarios I'm anticipating here, okay? Scenario 1 is we bounce and we either double bottom here or we create a higher low, right? We create some sort of higher low and we consolidate in here and there's just a lot of chippy chop before we move up. Or we come down and we form one more low somewhere in my golden zone before we start moving up. I've been on record saying I'm going to say the latter of those. I think we're going to come down a little bit lower towards the $6 range, possibly the high to mid 5s. But I have this entire golden zone for a reason. Look at Alchemy Pay. Now, why did I bring that up? Okay, Alchemy, again, I had this golden zone. I have not touched this, all right? It hasn't done exactly what I was expecting, although there's still plenty of time for it to correct further. It hasn't gone as deep. You can see the golden zone that I have drawn out here is between 2.6 cents and 1.46 cents. And my ultimate major buy zone, this is why it's dark green, is between the 2.2 cents and 1.8 cents. And we won as low as 2.25. So I got super duper duper close to this golden zone here, dark golden zone. But it did go into my gold buy zone, right? But what have we done ever since then? We've created a low, a higher low, and still another higher low. So we're just consolidating right now. This one's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. Are we ultimately going to, I mean, there's only really a couple scenarios, in my opinion. Thank you for everyone new tuning in. Make sure to hit the thumbs up. You got to click the bell icon to know when I'm going to go live. I don't announce it, every day. Let's go like a 3-day on this. Yeah, so I see two scenarios for this. All right, who asked this question? Okay, Miroslav, thank you for the question. Sorry if I butchered your name. I'm doing my best here. I'm doing my best. So let's take this descent. You can see there's descending resistance. We're having a hard time getting above. We're going to put another area of resistance just like right there. That's like perfect. 4.5 cents, right? So I see one of two scenarios most likely playing out here, okay? We are either going to come down here and sort of double bottom in this same area. Maybe we go a little bit lower, right? But essentially double bottom and then just continue our way up. Or we're not going to do that at all, and we're just going to chop around at much higher levels up here before we start moving up. I think... if I had to take an educated guess on this one, I think it is more likely that we're going to come back down to an area somewhere around where we bottomed here at 2.25 cents, right? Now, there is certainly a possibility we could go lower. I mean, we certainly could go as low as, 1.8 or 2 cents or even all the way down here. I don't think the bottom of this zone is as likely anymore as I had first suspected. But I still think what is in play and what is more likely is to still come down somewhere in this area. Somewhere in this area before we start to ultimately make our move up. But we're just consolidating right now. I mean, the chart looks fine. Keep in mind, this is one of these projects where when you go back in time, gotta clean up this chart a little bit. I'll have to go in here and clean this up. This is one of these projects where when you go back in time, what you'll see is, we had, the correction isn't surprising because we had this meteoric rise in price, right? We went from, a penny all the way up to 20 cents, right? So was it a penny or was it? No. It was not a penny. That's what I thought. It was 1/10 of a penny, okay? 15 100ths of a penny. It was 0.0015, okay? So we essentially did like something south of a 200x going up here, but it was like 180x, 170x, okay? So then we just had this massive correction, which isn't surprising. Price just went up it was way too hot, way overextended. So then what happens? A lot, when you spend a lot of time evaluating charts, what you find is commonalities, right? How many times have we spoken about breaking out of descending resistance, right? Descending resistance, and then once we break out, we back test it and move up. That's a commonality amongst charts. Another commonality in charts is when you have something that has a small volatile market cap like this, where it doesn't take a lot of liquidity to move the price, you have these sharp increases in price that are not sustainable. And then it's just followed by this long, drawn-out correction, right? Because prices just became way overextended, right? So right now, we're just in the midst of a healthy recovery, and those are my thoughts in terms of where I could see price going in the shorter to intermediate term. I hope that was helpful. Yeah, absolutely. Glad you appreciate it. What other charts? What other charts do you guys have? I honestly didn't have too much that I wanted to talk about outside of the main points that I wanted to cover today was coming into the live stream. Originally, when price was increasing, was to curb your excitement. Okay, it's nice to see upwards movement in the markets, but curb it. Here's what you need to look for mainly on the monthly, and this is what to keep in mind on the weekly. I'm just trying to keep you guys grounded on perspective. But also, this is a fluid situation that is crypto. So just before coming live, we had all this volatility come in. So another thing I just wanted to hit on is volatility and why it's not surprising that price got rejected where it got rejected. It's not surprising one bit. It shouldn't catch you by surprise. I'm sure if I go on Twitter if I go on here, there's going to be a news narrative. There's going to be some sort of event or something. But again, it's all in the charts. That's what I believe. I mean, this volatility is something that I have seen in Bitcoin and I have seen in other assets within crypto time and time and time again. And it does not, shake me or surprise me. It's just par for the course. Again, I'm focused on this, okay? I'm focused on that. I'm focused on this. And I'm focused on all the other bazillion charts I've shared with you guys that have me feeling bullish, macro perspective. So what other charts? I want to take one more chart before signing off. What chart is just like, you're just itching to get an update? It's like one we have not spoken about in a while. You're like, I need an update on not Solana, not Digibyte. No, we've talked about these charts very recently. Like, what other chart? If not, I'm just gonna pick a chart and we're gonna talk about that for a brief moment. All right, I'm gonna start speaking to this chart. I've decided, and if there's somebody that comments pretty quickly here, I will switch gears. But this is Track. This is Origin Trail, ticker symbol TRAC. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on here. Not sure where I drew this red line of resistance. Must have been on a different time frame because that's going through a candle body, and that's not like me to do that. Was it on a 2-day? Yeah, it was on a 2-day. I was going to say because that would not be like me. Yeah, so what's going on with Track, right? This is on Coinbase. You can see right now, I have this huge green buy zone here that was an opportunity to kind of scale in at, my opinion, a great area of price confluence on the chart. You can see we won as low as 28 cents. Again, it's actually pretty straightforward what's going on here if you're in this. I own a little bit of this. Don't know where to draw the line. A little bit, moderate amount. It's not a significant amount. It's a decent position. I have a decent position, all right? And this is part of my crypto AI play. So we had this large rise in price from 16 cents all the way up to 52 cents. So keep in mind, we did more than a 3x, right? So now price is just cooling off. That's all it's doing. A lot of people just get impatient. You can see we have an upwards area of ascending. We have ascending support here. But a lot of people get very impatient. And when price does this, they're like, I'm out. I'm done with this shit. And then we just get a massive explosion in price, right? So again, if you know what you're invested in and you know what you're looking at here, and I can draw another area of resistance here, we're just chopping around right now. We're just trying to find our bearings. And some of the price levels that are dictated here within this chart are a manifestation. Ooh, came up with that one on the spot. Manifestation of what is taking place in the broader market. Broader market is just kind of chopping around. It's just trying to find its space. We've been very oversold. We came down significantly in price. So price has been done consolidating at the all-time lows. It made a massive explosive move in value, and now it's just trying to consolidate a little. But once we break, my key area, I really want you to watch for this 45 cent area. Okay, now ultimately we need to break this wick here. The wick is at 53 cents. But on Track, when we start to break through 45 cents with volume, prepare yourself because see what other areas of resistance. Yeah, I mean, you could draw some other areas in here. I mean, there's 60 cents. I probably should draw 60 cents. Right around 60 cents. There's another area around like I think that's just getting too cute, personally. Not really, but once we break 45 cents with some volume, we have an area of resistance at 60 cents and 72 cents. But really the area I'm targeting is this area up here. It's 78 cents to $1. Now there's an area of price confluence at 95 cents, but I've drawn this blue rectangle to encompass $1. And why is that? $1 is a psychological level, right? How many YouTube clickbait videos are out there for things reaching $1, $10, $100, $1,000, $1 million for Bitcoin. You know, there are psychological areas. So really, what my view is, once we break 45 cents with volume, yes, we should have some resistance at 60 and 72 cents, but I think it's just a matter of short time until we start to hit 78 cents all the way up north of towards $1. So keep an eye on track. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in. There's a lot of volatility that's going in. Let's see how this day closes out. I would keep an eye specifically on the daily candle. I touched on sort of the formation of that candle should be indicative of the most likely direction for price in the short to intermediate term. Something I will make sure to hammer home with you guys on over the course of the next 2 days while I'm live streaming is this April monthly candlestick. We'll see how it closes. I gave you my guess. It's really just a guess. We'll have to see how it closes. More than likely, it's going to be an indecision candle. And so that kind of sets us up for what is May really going to do. You know, we're going to kind of back test this area before moving up. We're going to get that back test to the $25,000 that like everyone thinks we're getting. Or is Bitcoin going to do what fewer expect and never touch the $25,000 area? We'll have to remain patient and see. So, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. I love the charting and I appreciate the interaction. So it's good to see everyone. Well, you know, sort of see everyone. I mean, you can see me, I can't see you. It's kind of a little unfair actually. But make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Show me some support. Drop a comment. Share this with at least one person. You have to click that little bell icon for notifications to know when I go live. But again, appreciate you guys tuning in. Until next time, which is tomorrow, spread awareness and carry the education forward. Take care, guys.